Two kids in the sidecar. And this is how a family of four goes on a motorcycle tour. Yaron and Yannick are lucky. Their parents are Ramona and Herbert Schwartz. The well-known Touratech founder and his wife put their travel equipment through the hardest tests worldwide, and this time together with the family in Greece.
Driving a sidecar is such a wonderful way to discover the world. Traveling with the sidecar, our great passion for traveling with the motorbike and our family can be combined. So there is no excuse that you have to stop motorcycling when you have children.
Herbert does what he will do countless times in the next few days. He fixes his son's bicycles onto the sidecar. And we continue on picturesque Peloponnese in southern Greece. The family of four and three companions are looking forward to the motorcycle adventure. An over 2,000-kilometer tour leads over endless winding, scarcely frequented roads in the Peloponnese to the world-famous cities of Corinth, Sparta, and Olympia. The children in the double sidecar are accustomed to tours like this. This allows the small caravan to progress rapidly. As an experienced motorcycle world traveler, Herbert Schwartz knows how to handle the gasoline stove. After 150 kilometers, he appreciates being able to spontaneously fill hungry mouths.
We were looking for a cool place. Here's a small chapel. The children have their bicycles, so they will be happy for a bit. And now we put water on and make noodles so they somehow get something to eat. No one has the feeling of starving. The children, you always have to make sure that they're satisfied.
Usually the children get something to eat around 5 p.m. Today it's already 7 p.m. and they're starving. And that's why Ramona makes sure that they get some pasta after an excursion to the sheep herd, the children's absolute favorite food. Ramona knows exactly what she's doing on motorcycle tours. She and Herbert have already traveled to countless countries on all continents on two wheels. Herbert, the team leader, knows the advantages of the three-wheel vehicle only too well, but also the pitfalls.
If you sit in a sidecar for the first time and want to start, the sidecar does exactly the opposite of what you'd expect. You want to turn left, you do everything as when riding a motorcycle, and the sidecar blithely pulls the bike to the right. This means, before you build a sidecar, before you buy one, you should go on a sidecar training course. Simply see if you can get used to this completely different driving geometry, to this completely different driving behavior.
At the first campsite in the northwest of the Peloponnese, the motorcycle tourists make themselves comfortable at the campfire. The day shepherd and his wife have brought fresh goat's milk, which, however, is first boiled. The mid-European stomach will be grateful. Suddenly, the two came out of the darkness. Their natural hospitality impressed British rider Stephanie Rowe and the rest of the biker team.
Jan Peter.
Without much ado and actions, they quickly get closer, and despite language barriers.
Actually, I would always like things to be that way when strangers come around. That you simply pass by, chat without even speaking, without knowledge of language, each understands the other, communicates somehow. Simply that guests feel good.
The next morning, Yannick and Yaron are fresh, having slept well, and the rest of the group are still tired. Herbert is already making coffee for everyone, using goat's milk from the evening before, a rare luxury. The Touratech team enjoys a bit of rail luck. They're not in a hurry, no fixed route. The children always decide where they're going. If the two want to go to the sea, then they go to the sea. If they want to go into the mountains, then all go to the mountains. So everything is extremely relaxed. Naupaktos on the Gulf of Corinth, a small village with a large beach. As early as the end of May, the water is warm enough to bathe or to spend hours endlessly long splashing in the water. While the offspring frolics around tirelessly, the adults have had a restless camping sleep and many hours in the motorcycle saddle. But the main thing, all are traveling together. One of the great advantages of the sidecar.
Driving a sidecar has never really gone out of style. It's just a small niche product that never really catches your eye. We're talking about 10,000 vehicles in Germany. That changes each year by 100 units or so that are newly built. So a relatively constant level. In this respect, you can't speak of it coming in and out of fashion. What changes is the customer structure. By the end of the 2000s, traveling with children was totally in. Then suddenly it was as if it had been cut off and there were only older gentlemen who said, "I need a third wheel before the bike falls over, the moped's too heavy." And right now, through the activities of Touratech, especially from Ramona, the market is just about to tip, so the clientele is getting a little younger again.
The bikers are now on their way back to Naupaktos. After a long afternoon on the beach, the kids are all very tired. Waking them would not be a good idea, and therefore they take their helmets off very carefully.
It was quite exhausting with the sandcastles and moats and looking for mussels. Besides, the guys went to bed late yesterday because the campfire was so romantic and beautiful, they didn't go to bed before 11 or 12.
After about 5 minutes, the two 4- and 5-year-old boys spring back into action. In the meantime, Herbert finds a bicycle shop nearby, where hopefully the bottom bracket of Yannick's bike can be repaired.
What is special when you are traveling with children? Not only those things break that you break yourself, but also what the children break because they like to test things. Material fatigue. They test for longevity. They test by throwing things. No matter, Daddy fixes it. And the kids are right once again. I fix it, we continue, they have their fun, and I have my peace.
Apparently, Herbert would be overwhelmed with his emergency tool.
Everything he's doing, I wouldn't have known what to do with it.
He's glad that the shop was still open and they helped him. Yannick would have been unhappy without a bike. Herbert always goes with his bike like this. In the evening, Meletis Stamatis of Touratech Athens joins with friends and gives the German bikers tips for the journey. The next day, they cross the Rio Rio bridge on the Gulf of Corinth. The big and small bikers cross the water on the second largest cable stay bridge in the world. It extends 2.9 kilometers over the 65-meter deep seabed. There are no communication problems on the way. Bluetooth technology helps.
Of course, not everything is always sunshine. Sometimes the guys are in a bad mood, so intercom is a very good idea. I know, then Herbert asks the boys thumbs up, and then he gets thumbs up back. This means everything is okay. If one of the guys makes this sign, then we know we need to talk. Then we switch to intercom and tell a story, for example. Intercom is anyway a good idea. If you've discovered something great on the roadside you want to show them, or sometimes you simply want to make them aware.
Everyone loves Greek cuisine and they enjoy the food in the Peloponnese. Almost everyone. Only the sidecar kids always want noodles. But this means Yaron and Yannick are also fit for the journey. Obviously in contrast to companion Wolfgang, who underestimated the smooth road surface. A bit too much speed at the corner exit, and already the heavy enduro rotates with its rear wheel. They get off lightly, however. It goes unhindered onwards to the sea caves of Castria Achaia in the northern center of the Peloponnese. Fantastic myths surround the caves, which can be viewed on safe bridges and always at a constant temperature of 16 degrees. The stone formations on the cave walls are particularly impressive and look like lampshades or curtains. The curiosity of the children is intensively nurtured here before the ever-exciting trip continues for them again in the double sidecar. The Delphi ruins unfortunately do not quite meet the expectations of the world-famous site. The short stay here is enough. With the children in the sidecar, a lot of breaks are necessary and only short stages of a maximum of 2 hours are possible. Together with the locals of Touratech Athens, self-cooking at the sleeping place is particularly fun. The little bikers are not always tired in the evening. Reading stories can help. The next morning, all enjoy breakfast in a restaurant. Also Militis from Touratech Athens. His work is his passion.
Touratech is not just a business. And this is what we like with Touratech. I mean, there are other companies that are doing the same thing in the market, but they don't feel like it. They don't live like it. So for us, it's not only business, it's a way of living. This is why we live not only by selling Touratech products, but just by living with Touratech products. So we are doing tours, we are doing touring events, we are doing traveling events, we are doing races. It's all our life throughout the year is built on this concept. It's a full life concept, it's not only business.
The next morning in the Evia Mountains, northeast of Athens, the enduro specialists Sophie and Ramona Schwartz extensively test the gravel quality of the new bikes and the new travel accessories before they go again onto the usual good asphalt. No matter on what surface, sidecar riding has very special quirks.
We chose an R1200 GS Adventure. The big tank was very important for us that we have a reasonable range, despite the slightly higher use that the sidecar has. Uli then recommended a sidecar from Touratech. The model is called Healer. And he said, I think it would be ideal for you if the two guys do not sit next to each other and have to irritate each other all the time. For me, this concept really had a lot of charm because this makes the sidecar narrower than one with 1.5 or 2 seats side by side.
The ferry between Evia and the mainland reveals a peculiarity of traveling with a sidecar, children and baggage. You always need longer than expected until you've packed everything and stowed away and can finally start. The bikers are just getting going in time and roll almost as last off the boat. Again, gravel instead of asphalt. A particularly diversified tour of southern Greece is coming to an end. Time for conclusion on the differences between a motorbike and sidecar riding.
Driving sidecar is different. Many say, well, the sidecar actually combines the disadvantages of cars and motorcycles in an ingenious way. That is, when it rains, you get wet. If there is a traffic jam, you stay at the back. But now I've changed my mind. It combines the advantages of both. One has the children, one has the same fun, one has the same impressions as when riding a motorcycle, but one is simply traveling together.
2,000 kilometers between adventure and antiquity. Postcard motifs and panorama roads inspire the bikers and lure to return soon.